Hello and welcome back, guys. We're now starting a part 2 of Changes Female Deku x Bakugo, written by Corinna Camalipa. You can find author's profile link in the description. Let's begin. The pro-heroes strictly forbid the students to go out because of the incident last night. Midoriya was worried about her classmates and also for herself that she was targeted by villains. The pro-heroes gathered in a faculty to talk about it. Everyone should be alert and be aware of your surroundings. We don't know what their next plan is, Nizu said. Midoriya is like a bomb here we were keeping. Once the villain catches and takes her, it will cause a big war between us against them. I think we should put her in a safe place, where we can monitor her. Best Jeanist added. You mean, keep and lock her in a room? Midnight asked worried. That's too much if we did it to her. She's a student here, MMI can suggest. We should put CCTV cameras around here. That will be a better idea, All Might agreed. Miss Midnight was right, we'll put the CCTV footage around, inside and outside of their dorm, Nizu added, but, while doing that, we should figure out what's their motive and why are they targeting Midoriya. Aizawa says. All Might became serious and silent because he knows what the villain's motive, her quirk. All Might say, what? How are you sure about that? Nizu asked. The pro-heroes looked at him in serious and confused expression. All might have been thinking this and have decided to tell the truth to them. You all remembered when I resigned and lose my quirk against All for One? All Might asked and they nodded. My quirk wasn't just a normal quirk, I inherited it from our ancestors. We just passed it using our DNA. Call it One for All. Wait, you mean you pass your quirk to her? Midnight confirming. Midoriya, she's my new successor and the new owner of One for All. It's the strongest quirk that All for One wanted to steal and claim to destroy the world. All Might explained. She's the new symbol. Nizu says. All Might nodded. She's still learning her quirk. We still need to protect her. Now, that's explain why you're so close to her. Aizawa smirks. All Might chuckled. I treated her like my child. Now we know their motive. We'll have to prepare and protect the students as we can, mostly Midoriya. Nizu says. The pro-heroes nodded in a serious expression. At the dorm, Midoriya was sitting on the couch quietly. The girls noticed it and went towards her. Hey, Deku, are you okay? Uraraka worried. Why yeah, I'm okay, don't worry. Midoriya stuttered. You seemed quiet this whole time. It's obvious you're not okay. Gyro says. I was just to really guess. Tired. It looks like you're worried and thinking about what happened last night, Mina says. Izuku looks down with a sad expression. If I stay here, they will probably attack the UAA and everyone will get hurt. Izuku worried. We don't need to be protected. If we get hurt, it was not your fault, Uraraka says. Izuku looks at the boys too with a sad and worried expression. But, I put everyone in danger. Izuku tears up. Izuku, don't cry, don't blame yourself, you have nothing to do about it, Hagakure says. The boys walks towards to the girls. Hey, did you make Izuku cried? Mineta says, we're not, she just keep blaming herself. Mina says. Bakugo sits next to Midoriya and held her hands. There's nothing to worry about us, you shall not blame yourself for this. We're all victim here, Bakugo says, but, Kaken, Izuku sobs, if they attacked us we'll fight together and win this, we won't let them take you away, Bakugo added. Izuku nodded and wiped her tears. All Might entered the dorm. Midoriya, may I talk to you? Izuku nodded and excused herself from everyone. Bakugo and the others watched her leaving the dorm with All Might. After an hour the class 1A was eating a lunch, then suddenly Nizu and the pro-heroes came and the students huddle around. Where's Midoriya? Nizu asked. She's with All Might. Yamamo says. What? I'm not with her, I'm with them the whole time, All Might says, appearing behind Aizawa. But, All Might pick her up here and you wanted to talk to her. Mina says. Wait, I was with them the whole time, I did come just now. All Might say. Everyone was shocked and get panic. Someone disguised as All Might. Mina says. What the heck then, who's with her right now? Bakugo asked madly. Oh god, we all tricked, Midoriya's in danger. Uraraka said. Everyone get out and find her quick, Nizu says to the pro-heroes. Class 1A, you are allowed to help us look for Midoriya, Aizawa says. The Class 1A nodded and went outside to go look for Midoriya. At the UA forest, why did you take me here, All Might? Are we gonna talk something important? Izuku asked, yes, it's important. All Might's voice changed, like how you're important and useful to us. All Might melted and changed his body form. Izuku was shocked seeing Toga in front of her, Himiko Toga. Izuku was shocked and scared. That's me. Hello Izuku. Toga smirks and attacked Midoriya. Izuku dodges. She pulls Toga's one knife and holds it. Stay away and don't come closer. Izuku glared, pointing the knife on Toga. Chill Midori, I won't hurt you, Toga chuckled, stepping closer to her. Izuku glared and did not believe in her. Stay back. And don't move. I will. Toga smirks, making Izuku not knowing that Nomu was behind her. Izuku gasps when she hears a footsteps behind her and seeing a Nomu. Toga laughing and watched her. Izuku got scared and stepped back. She ran, but the Nomu jumped in front of her and attacked her. Left and spreads a BLD on the ground. Izuku. Izuku. Where are you? Kirishima called, worried. DM it, I should have noticed that, Bakugo said, mad expression while walking. Baku bro, don't blame yourself, we'll find her, okay? Denki says, I hope it was not too late. Kirishima says, worried. Midoriya. Say something. Where are you? Denki called. Die, Bakugo yelling and exploded the trees on their way. Man, don't do that. Zero says they were still walking. I'm gonna FK that extra. If that thing did something to her, I won't let that thing see the sunrise, Bakugo said in a mad tone and serious expression. Calm down bro, Kaminari said, I won't calm down. Bakugo said, annoyed. Zero noticed a red slipper on the ground. He then recognized the owner. He looks at Bakugo and the others with a shocked expression. Guys, he saw something. They go towards Zero. What is it? Kirishima asked. Zero shows the red slipper to them. It's Midoriya's slipper. Bakugo's eyes widened and he was right about it, and now they are all shocked when they saw a BLD on the ground. They took Midoriya. Denki cried, we have to inform the others. Zero says, Bakugo, hat should we do? Kirishima asked, worried. He noticed the rage and red aura around Bakugo. Bakugo was now mad, and clenched his fists. Deku, I swear, I will find you at any costs. Bakugo was followed after by Kirishima, Denki and Zero. They're all worried and thinking of what happened to Midoriya. Denki, did you tell the pro heroes about it? Kirishima, yes, they also informed the others to go back to the dorm. Denki looks down, worried. I hope we find Midoriya soon. They're looking at Bakugo, who are still angry about it, blaming himself for not noticing the wrong earlier. Bakugo, control your temper and anger, will find her as soon as possible, Zero said, cheering him and make him calm himself. How can I calm down on the situation like this? Bakugo yelled, mad. Kirishima stopped Zero from talking. He knows Bakugo was just worried of what happened to his lady. They stopped when they heard noises and steps nearby. Denki looks terrified and nervous. What was that? He whispered. Get ready, it's coming towards us. Bakugo said to them, ready to activate his quirk. They posed, preparing themselves to attack. When it come out from the bush, they're about to attack it, but their eyes widened when they saw a knocked out Nomu. They looked at the person who attacked it. Bakugo felt relieved seeing Midoriya in front of them. Midoriya. Denki cried and hugged her. He let go and looked at Midoriya. Huff everyone. Midoriya cried, then Bakugo suddenly hugged her. You make me worried, you DMN nerd. Bakugo tears up and caresses her cheeks, wiping Midoriya's tears. Kaken, Izuku cried, it's okay now we're here, Bakugo said and embraced her. Kirishima, Denki and Zero were surprised by Bakugo's changes towards Midoriya. They were amazed by his secret side of being kind, manly, and soft-hearted. Midoriya, did you saw the imposters' faces? Denki asked. She nodded. It's Himiko Toga from the League of Villains. She disguised herself to trick me and take the Nomu with her to get me. How did you escape? Kirishima asked. I finally activated my quirk. I used it against them. Midoriya answered. Thank goodness, you activated it now in a perfect time. Denki chuckled. I informed everyone now about her. We should go back now, to the dorm. Everyone was looking and worrying for you. Zero says, I know, please inform everyone now. Midoriya said. They nodded when Kirishima, Denki and Zero walked first. Bakugo tapped Midoriya's elbow. She turns at him. What's wrong, Kaken? Midoriya, confused. Izuku asked, then Kaken put his lips on her, kissing her passionately. Bakugo pulled away and caresses her cheeks. I won't let anything happen to you again, Kaken. She smiled and holds Bakugo's hands. I love you too, nerd, Bakugo says. They hold each other's hands and followed after the others. At the UA dorm, thank goodness you were okay, Uraraka cried and quickly hugged Midoriya. Midoriya smiled at them. I'm okay now, don't worry. She looks at everyone. I'm sorry for making you all worried, it was not your fault, Midoriya. It is good that you finally activated your quirk this time, or else everything will get worse and more difficult if they succeed on their plan on you. All Might says, I don't know how she sneaks in and disguised as you. All Might, Midoriya is still confused about it. We will figure it out. How and where did she get the information, and found this place? Nizu says, we will do everything to secure your safety, Midoriya. Don't worry, Aizawa said, making Midoriya felt relieved and smiled. The pro-heroes leave the dorm and left the UA students inside their dorm. Midoriya couldn't help but think of the villain's real motive on her. Come here, everyone, the dinner is ready. Yamamo says. Everyone stood up and went to the dining room to eat dinner. That night, Midoriya couldn't sleep. She was watching over the window and having anxiety. She left her bedroom and went to Bakugo's room, knocked. Kaken, Midoriya waiting for the response. She knocked again. Kaken. The door opened and reveals a yawning Bakugo. Nerd, it's already late, what are you doing here? Bakugo asked. I can't sleep, Midoriya muttered. Ha. I can't sleep, Kaken. Can I come in and sleep there? Midoriya asked. Fine. Come in. Bakugo opens the door widely and let Midoriya come in. He switched the lights on. Midoriya looked around the room. It looks comfy and clean. His room is well organized and the color of the room looks comfy for the eyes, and cold because of aircon. I'll sleep on the couch. You can sleep on my bed, Bakugo said. No, I'm okay on the couch, Kaken. Deku says, just do what I said, Bakugo says as a concerned boyfriend. Midoriya smiled and kissed Bakugo's cheeks, then made him blushed. Thanks, Kaken. Midoriya giggled and went to Bakugo's bed. Oi Deku, yes Kaken. Bakugo thinks and looks at her. I can sleep next to you and cuddle instead, he says, blushing. She smiled and pulled Bakugo to lay on the bed. Okay, she giggled. Bakugo chuckled and turned off the lights. He cuddled Izuku and kissed her forehead. Izuku noticed the pictures behind the door. She get up and looked closely. It was their pictures together since a baby until now. Kaken, you were, Bakugo hugged her from the back. I keeping it for a long time, nerd. Izuku tears up and looks at him. Why the heck are you crying for? It's just it melted my heart to see those pictures, Kaken. Tch, you really are cute, Bakugo chuckled, squeezing her cheeks. And Kaken, don't squeeze it, Deku chuckled and pouted. He chuckled and kissed Izuku's forehead. They both kissed passionately and slowly lay down on the bed. After that they dressed themselves and walked downstairs to eat breakfast. Hey, Bakubro, why did you woke up late? Denki asked. Bakugo just smirked and did not respond. He just sat and joined them on the table eating breakfast. Mina and Denki look at each other confused. What are you looking at? Bakugo annoyed. Nothing. Mina and Denki both said and quickly eat their breakfast. Izuku get her breakfast and went towards the table where Uraraka, Ida, and Todoroki sitting. She joined them eating. Good morning, Deku. I'm me and Izumi. You look unusually chipper today, Uraraka says, noticing how cheerful Izuku is today. Well, glance at Katsuki and look back at Uraraka. I had a pretty fantastic night. I woke up with the biggest smile, Izumi giggled. This sounds juicy, care to share? Uraraka winked, but she glanced at Ida and Todoroki to leave the table. Ida got it and grabbed Todoroki's arm. Where are we going? I haven't finished my cold soba. Todoroki says, confused. Just follow me, we have something we need to do, Ida says, and walks away, pulling Todoroki with him. So. Tell me, Uraraka excitedly wants to hear it. Izuku blushed. I just spent the night with Kaken, she whispered. What? Really? Uraraka awed. Yeah, it's everything felt natural. Izuku chuckled. Katsuki really got the nerves racking for the first time with you, Uraraka chuckled. Izuku blushes more. I never felt this good and happy. I was so comfortable with him. She looks at Katsuki watching him while doing the laundry. After breakfast she approached Katsuki and hugged him from the back. You know, Sometimes I just can't get over how lucky I am to have you, Kaken, Izuku said softly. Oh, stop it. You're going to make me blush, nerd. Katsuki chuckled. Izuku cups Katsuki's cheeks and smiled. I mean it, though. The way you laugh, the way you care about the little things about me, it's like you were made just for me. And you're just saying that to get on my good side. Katsuki smiled. Izuku pouts and leans on the sink. Maybe, but I can't help it if it's true. Every time I see you, I feel like my day gets a little brighter. Katsuki couldn't help but blush and smirk. You're too sweet. You make me feel so special, like I'm the only person in the world who matters. Izuku giggled, and played Katsuki's hair, then smiled. That's because you are, at least in my world. I love how we just get each other, how we can talk about anything or nothing and it still feels perfect. Katsuki removes Izuku's hand from his head and kisses it. I love that too. It's like we're in our own little bubble, where nothing else matters but us. She locks her eyes on him and giggles. Exactly. And I wouldn't trade that feeling for anything. I just want to keep making you happy, because when you're happy, I'm happy. Katsuki puts his hand on her waist. Well, you're doing a pretty great job at it. I've never felt so loved and understood before. She cups Katsuki's cheeks. That's all I ever wanted, to be the one who makes you feel like that. You know, Deku, with you, it's like every day is a little bit sweeter. I wouldn't want it any other way. Izuku blushes. Neither would I. Here's to making every day as sweet as this one. I can't wait to see what the future holds for us. Bakugo and Izuku kissed and smiled. They didn't notice their classmates were peeking and watching them. They were surprised by the closeness and sweetness they have. Get a room. You too, Denki, jealous. Shut up. Dunce face. Katsuki yelled. Izuku blushed, covers her face with her both hands. You two are so cute together. Mina aw. Katsuki smirks and put his hand around on Deku's waist, kissing her cheek. Kaya. The girls awed and scream. That's surprising. Mineta smirks. Mind your own businesses, extras. Bakugo yelled. Kaken, stop, don't yell at them, Izuku says, chuckled. At the hideout of the League of Villains. They have plans to target and get Midoriya because she can be valuable for their new experimentation for the new masterpiece, Shigaraki. She wouldn't volunteer for something like this, but once we have her she will have no choice. Dabi, are you sure? Is she capable of this experimentation? Shigaraki, she has the DNA of the OFA, she can be useful for use, it can increase the power of my creationto, push it beyond its current limits to defeat all the pro heroes including All Might. Dabi, what's your plan? Toga told us she is secured and protected at UA. Shigaraki, leave that to me, we'll strike when she least expects it. Her security is tight but we have ways slipping through cracks. Toga, but what kind of plan? Shigaraki, it just need a little distractions, a sabotage, and she'll be ours before they even realize she is missing. He laughed and drinks the wine. The training grounds at UA High School. Class 1A is in the middle of a training session, with everyone dressed in their hero costumes. Bakugo is helping his girlfriend female Izuku practice her quirk. The rest of the class is scattered around, practicing their own techniques. Bakugo crossing his arms and watching Izuku intently. Deku, focus. You need to control your output better. If you keep pushing yourself like this, you'll break something again. He said, Izuku nodding, breathing slightly from the effort. I know, Kaken. But I need to get stronger. I can't fall behind everyone else. Bakugo sighs, stepping closer and placing a hand on her shoulder. Listen, idiot. You're already strong, but you've got to be smart about it. You don't need to break yourself to prove anything. Izuku looking up at him, eyes wide with determination. But Kaken, I want to be able to stand by your side, not just trail behind you. Bakugo softened slightly, his concern clear in his eyes. You're already standing by my side, Deku. You're my partner. So let's work on this together, okay? We'll figure out how to make your quirk work without you ending up in Recovery Girl's office again. Izuku smiling gratefully. Thanks, Kaken. I'll do my best. Bakugo smirks, ruffling her hair gently. I know you will, nerd. Now, let's try that again, but this time, keep your movements controlled. No unnecessary risks. Their classmates are watching them again, Kirishima grinning as he watches them from a distance. Bakugo's really softened up, huh? I never thought I'd see the day. Kaminari laughs, nodding, yeah, who knew he could be such a caring boyfriend? But it's kinda nice to see him like this. Uraraka smiling softly, they bring out the best in each other. It's really sweet. Todoroki glancing over with a thoughtful expression, Bakugo's always been strong, but now he's learning to be strong for someone else. It's a good change. Bakugo was shouting, but with a hint of encouragement, come on, Deku. Show me what you've got. Izuku was determined, powering up with renewed focus, right. Let's do this, Kaken. The scene continues with Izuku practicing her quirk under Bakugo's watchful eye, the rest of the class cheering them on in their own ways, creating an atmosphere of camaraderie and growth. They suddenly heard a loud noise from the city. They were shocked and confused. Later the students of Class 1A and several pro-heroes are gathered in the common room. Suddenly, an alert sounds, and the screen displays breaking news of a massive explosion at a mall and market nearby. The atmosphere shifts from relaxed to tense in an instant. Aizawa, Eraserhead, his eyes narrowing as he looks at the screen, everyone, listen up. We've just received word that there's been an explosion at a nearby mall and market. This could be an attack or a natural disaster. Either way, we need to move quickly. All Might was standing tall, his voice calm but commanding. We'll split into teams. Class 1A, you'll be coming with us. You'll be split into groups and paired with pro-heroes. This will be a real-life test of your abilities, so stay alert and follow orders. Bakugo's fists are clenched, eyes filled with determination. TCH, whatever it is, I'll blow it to pieces. Izuku nodding, though looking a bit worried. We have to save as many people as we can. There could be innocent civilians trapped or injured. Kirishima was grinning, trying to keep the mood light. We've got this. We've trained for situations like these. Let's show them what we can do. The group quickly mobilizes, splitting into smaller teams. Izuku, Bakugo, Uraraka, Todoroki, and Ida are assigned to the mall along with All Might and Aizawa. They rush toward the scene, unaware of the lurking danger. At the mall, All Might assessing the situation. The area is chaotic with smoke and debris everywhere. The explosion seems to have caused significant damage, but the structure is holding. I want each of you to focus on finding survivors and getting them to safety. Aizawa and I will keep an eye out for any potential threats. Aizawa, Eraserhead, with his scarf at the ready, eyes scanning the area. Be careful. This could be more than just a simple explosion. Stay in constant communication. Izuku worried but focused, looking around as they enter the mall. Right, we need to spread out to cover more ground. Kaken, you take the west side. Todoroki and Uraraka, check the upper levels. I'll go with Ida and take the east side. Bakugo was glaring, but with concern in his voice. Oi, Deku. Don't do anything reckless. We're here to help, not to play the hero, and get yourself hurt. Careful. Izuku smiles softly at Bakugo's concern. I won't, Kaken. You be careful too. As the group splits up and searches the mall, Izuku feels an uneasy sensation but pushes it aside, focusing on finding survivors. Meanwhile, in the shadows, members of the League of Villains, including Toga, Dabi, and Twice, quietly slip through the chaos, keeping their eyes on Izuku. Toga was whispering to Twice, her eyes gleaming with excitement. Hee, look at her. She's so focused on saving people, she doesn't even notice us. Twice was nervous but grinning. This plan does better work. If we mess this up, Shigaraki will have our heads. Toga was giggling, her voice low and dangerous. Don't worry, she'll be ours soon enough. We just have to wait for the right moment. Izuku finds a group of injured civilians. She quickly helps Ida lead them to safety. You're going to be okay, just follow Ida and stay calm. Ida nodding, his voice firm and reassuring, this way. Stay together and move quickly. As Izuku continues to search, she suddenly feels a presence behind her. Before she can react, she's grabbed by Toga, who quickly injects her with a tranquilizer. Izuku's vision blurs, and she collapses into Dabi's arms. Dabi was smirking as she lifts the unconscious Izuku. Good job, Toga, we finally got her. Let's go before they notice. Twice nervously looking around, we need to be fast. They'll realize she's gone any second now. Back at the mall's entrance, Bakugo suddenly feels uneasy and looks around, sensing that something's wrong. Bakugo was growling, his instincts kicking in. Deku, where the hell are you? All Might noticing Bakugo's tension, his eyes narrowing. Young Bakugo, what's wrong? Bakugo, his eyes wide with realization, panic setting in. Izuku's in trouble, I can feel it. At that moment, the communication devices start crackling with static, followed by Ida's frantic voice. Ida was panicking. Midoriya's gone. She was right behind me, but now she's missing. Uraraka over the comms, her voice trembling, we have to find her. This could be a trap. Aizawa's, Eraserhead, eyes narrowing, his voice sharp, everyone, regroup now. This could be an ambush by the League of Villains. As the realization sets in, Bakugo's eyes flare with rage and fear, knowing that Izuku has been taken right under their noses. The pro-heroes and Class 1A quickly regroup, the tension high as they prepare to find and rescue their friend. I think they used this as a trap and distraction for us, to not notice Izuku. Yamamo worried, oh god, the League of Villains, that's their real intention here. Denki added, everyone knows now that this is part of the plan of the LOV to get Midoriya. All Might was so worried and grit his teeth. Midoriya, my kid. Bakugo clenching his fists, his voice is filled with determination and fury. I'm coming for you, Deku. I swear, I'll get you back. The scene ends with the group rallying together, preparing to face the League of Villains and rescue Izuku before it's too late. At the hideout of the League of Villains, they put Izuku to the laboratory, Dr. Garaki adjusting his glasses, his voice eerily calm as he examines Izuku. This one, she's special. All for one will be pleased once we've finished with her. Her quirk has immense potential, but first, we need to understand it fully. This will require some invasive procedures. Shigaraki smirking, his hand twitching as he watches Izuku struggle. Make sure it's painful. She's been a thorn in our side for too long. Let her feel true despair. Toga pouting slightly, leaning closer to Izuku with a knife in hand. It's a shame we have to hurt her. She's so cute when she's fighting. But don't worry, Izuku. I'll make sure you're comfortable eventually. Izuku tugging at her restraints, her voice shaking with fear but filled with determination. You won't get away with this. My friends and the pro-heroes will come for me. They'll stop all of you. Twice nervously fidgeting, looking around the room. Yeah, they'll probably come. But we've got her now. They can't do anything if we're already gone. Dr. Garaki sighing as he prepares a syringe filled with a sedative. It's useless to struggle, young lady. Once you're under, I'll begin extracting the information we need. Sleep now, and when you wake, you'll belong to us. Now please don't do this, Izuku begged the doctor. No. He injects the sedative into Izuku's arm, and she feels her consciousness slipping away. Kaken Mom, All Might, she whispered, her vision blurs, and her thoughts grow foggy, her voice is shaky and her body becomes weak. Her last thoughts before succumbing to the drag are of Bakugo, and her friends. Help me, she whispered desperately, hoping they'll find her in time. Outside the villains' hideout, the heroes and Class 1A have gathered on the UA dorm, which they are still identifying with the abandoned warehouse, factory, or bar as a potential hideout for the League of Villains. The atmosphere is tense, and everyone is on edge. Bakugo was pacing back and forth, his face twisted with worry and frustration. Damn it, Deku, why didn't I protect you? I should have been there. I should have known something was wrong. All Might was placing a reassuring hand on Bakugo's shoulder, his voice steady but filled with concern. Young Bakugo, this isn't your fault. We'll get her back. We just need to stay focused. Aizawa, Eraserhead, his eyes scanning the building, calculating their next move. We need to act quickly but carefully. If the League knows our attack, they might hurt her, or worse. Bakugo, I need you to keep your head on straight. TCH, I'm gonna blow their face up if they did something to her. Bakugo says, mad, you should calm down and focus on the plan. Todoroki says, don't tell me what to do. Bakugo is annoyed and walks out, just let him be, for now. Yamamo says to everyone. Bakugo goes outside and thinks of the possible hideout of the villains. Where are you, Izuku? Here's a continuation where the League of Villains has injected something into female Izuku, and she wakes up pale and weakened, the same dark underground lab. Izuku lies unconscious on the metal table, her body still bound by restraints. The League of Villains surrounds her. Dr. Garaki, the League's mad scientist, stands by with an empty syringe in his hand, watching closely for any signs of life. Shigaraki was impatient, tapping his fingers on the table. Is it done yet, doctor? She's not moving. Give it a moment. The serum is designed to weaken her quirk and drain her stamina. Let's see how One for All reacts to the interference. Dr. Garaki calmly says. Toga was leaning in eagerly, her eyes wide with curiosity. Come on, Deku-chan. Wake up already. I want to see what happens. Suddenly, Izuku stirs, her eyes fluttering open. Her skin is pale, her face drenched in cold sweat. She tries to move but feels an overwhelming weakness in her limbs. Izuku's voice is shaky and barely audible. What did you do to me? Shigaraki was grinning, leaning closer. Welcome back. Feeling a bit powerless, huh? The doctor gave you a little something to shut down that annoying quirk of yours. Izuku gasping for breath, her head spinning. My quirk, it feels distant. What did you inject me with? Dr. Garaki smiling eerily, adjusting his glasses. A special serum I've been working on. It inhibits the connection between you and One for All. A little test to see how your body reacts without all that extra power. You're just an ordinary girl now. Dabi was smirking, crossing his arms. She looks pretty pathetic without that quirk. Can't even lift a finger, can you? Izuku was struggling weakly against her restraints, her breathing shallow. You won't get away with this. Toga pouting playfully, getting close to Izuku's face. Ah, don't be so dramatic, Deku-chan. We're just getting started. I like you better like this, all vulnerable and weak. I bet your BLD tastes sweeter when you're scared. She licks her lips, her eyes gleaming with excitement. Toga, back off for now. We need her alive for the next phase. Shigaraki coldly said. Izuku was weak, her vision is blurring. Why you won't break me? Shigaraki smirks. Oh, we don't need to break you, just your spirit. Dr. Garaki was scribbling notes, looking pleased. Fascinating, her body is still resisting. Even without One for All's full strength, her natural resilience is impressive. But it won't last forever. Izuku was barely able to keep her eyes open, whispering, I won't let you, weenie won't let you. Shigaraki mock on her. Who said you have a choice? Izuku's thoughts were racing, her visions were blurred. I can barely move, it feels like all my strength is gone. Mom, her heart aches as she pictures her mother's worried face. All Might, she remembers his reassuring smile, the trust he put in her. Class 1A Aizawa Sensei Mirio. Yurika Todoroki, images of her friends Uraraka, Ida, Todoroki flash before her eyes, all fighting to protect each other. Kaken, her heart tightens as she pictures Bakugo, fierce and determined, always charging forward. Please someone, anyone help me. Izuku's tears fall from her eyes. Dr. Garaki was adjusting his tools, speaking calmly. Remarkable, really. Even with her quirk suppressed, she's still conscious. You're quite the fighter, midoriya. Izuku was gasping weakly. Stop it please. Dr. Garaki smiled slightly, preparing another syringe. Oh, but we're far from finished. This is just the beginning. Your resilience will give us valuable data. Soon, we'll unlock the full potential of One for All. Shigaraki leaning in, his red eyes gleaming with amusement. You should have known better, midoriya. Did you really think your friends would save you in time? Izuku's mind drifts to Bakugo, his intense eyes, his unyielding will to fight. She remembers the way he always pushed her, challenged her to be better. Keiko-chan, Izuku whispering weakly, barely audible, Dr. Garaki inserting a needle into her arm again, his voice clinical, fascinating. Even in this state, she's still resisting. But it's only a matter of time before her body gives out. Toga was watching with a gleeful expression. She's thinking about someone. Is it that Bakugo boy? How sweet. I can feel her heart breaking. It's adorable. Izuku, tears forming in her eyes as her thoughts drift to her mother. Mom, I'm sorry. Her body trembles, the strain overwhelming her, but she refuses to give in. Her thoughts of her friends, her teachers, and her boyfriend Bakugo keep her fighting, even as her body weakens. Shigaraki grin widening. No one's coming, Izuku, no one's going to save you this time. As Izuku's strength fades, her determination to survive and hold on for the ones she loves burns deep within her. Save me, Izuku whispered before she lost consciousness. Izuku has been missing for 2 weeks, and Class 1A, the pro heroes, and her boyfriend Bakugo are desperately searching for her. A rundown warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Bakugo stands near a large map spread across a table, filled with markings and locations the heroes have already searched. His hands are clenched into fists, his frustration barely contained. Class 1A and several pro heroes, including All Might, Aizawa, and Endeavor, are gathered around, looking exhausted but determined. Bakugo gritting his teeth, his voice rough from shouting, 2 weeks. It's been 2 DMN weeks, and we've still got nothing. All Might's face somber, though he tries to remain composed. We've searched every known League of Villains hideout, but they've gone underground. They're moving quickly, staying ahead of us. Aizawa was calm but tense, his eyes narrowing. They're getting better at hiding. Every lead we get ends in a dead end. But we'll find her, Bakugo. We won't stop until we do. Bakugo was slamming his fist on the table, causing some papers to scatter. That's not good enough. We're wasting time while they're doing who knows what to do with her. His voice breaks slightly, but he quickly composes himself. We need to move faster. Uraraka's eyes are red from sleepless nights. Softly, Bakugo, we're all worried about her. But we can't rush this. We don't want to make mistakes. Bakugo's voice is low but fierce. Mistakes. They've had her for 2 weeks. We're running out of time. What if she's already dash? He cuts himself off, unable to finish the thought. Todoroki was standing next to Bakugo, placing a hand on his shoulder. She's strong, Bakugo. You know she's holding on, waiting for us. Bakugo pulling away, pacing angrily. I should have been there. I should have protected her. Deku's strong, but I know what she thinks. She's probably blaming herself for this whole thing. Kirishima was trying to stay positive, his voice steady. Man, you can't think like that. Izuku's tough. She's not going to let them win. We just need to keep looking. Bakugo shouting, frustration boiling over. I know she's tough. But that doesn't change the fact that she's out there alone, while we're stuck running in circles. All Might stepping forward, his voice filled with regret. Young Bakugo, I understand your pain. Izuku is like a daughter to me. But we have to stay level-headed. Losing control won't help her. We will find her, no matter what it takes. Bakugo breathing heavily, his fists shaking. I can't just sit here waiting for more leads. She needs me. She needs us. His voice lowers, barely above a whisper. I can't lose her, Endeavor gruffly said. We won't let that happen. The League can't hide forever. The longer they stay out of sight, the more reckless they'll get. Aizawa is looking at the group, his voice firm. We need to be smart about this. Everyone is tired, but we can't give up. The League of Villains isn't invincible. We'll find her. Bakugo gritting his teeth, looking down at the map again. We'd better. Because if they hurt her, I'm not going to wait for anyone. I'll take them all down myself. To a dimly lit room, somewhere far away, back to the League of Villains hideout. Izuku, weak and pale, lies in a dark cell, her body trembling from exhaustion. 2 weeks have passed, and the League's experiments have taken their toll on her. She curls up on the cold floor, her thoughts drifting to her friends, her mother, and Bakugo. Izuku dumbfounded and thinking weakly, Kaken, back at the search headquarters, the heroes continue to look through every possible lead. As the clock ticks, Bakugo's determination grows fiercer, pushing everyone forward. Late at night in the city, rain drizzles down as Bakugo walks determinedly through empty streets, a backpack slung over his shoulder. His expression is intense, his eyes filled with a mix of anger and desperation. It's been 3 weeks since Izuku was taken by the League of Villains, and the pro-heroes still haven't found her. Bakugo's patience has finally run out. Bakugo gritting his teeth, muttering to himself, I can't sit around anymore. They're wasting time. I'm gonna find her myself, no matter what it takes. As Bakugo moves further into the city, he senses something. He suddenly stops and turns around, glaring into the darkness. I know you're there. Stop hiding and come out, or I'll blow you to pieces. Bakugo yelled, from the shadows, Shoto Todoroki, Ida Tenya. Kirishima Ijiro, Momo Yaoyorozu, and Ochiko Uraraka steps forward, their expressions are serious but filled with concern. You weren't planning to go alone, were you? Todoroki calmly says, Bakugo scowling, his voice was sharp, DMN right I was. I don't need any of you slowing me down. Ida was pushing his glasses up, his tone stern, you can't go out there alone, Bakugo. It's reckless, and you know it. We're all worried about midoriya, but this is no time to act irrationally. Bakugo snarling and clenched his fists, like hell I'm waiting around any longer. They've had her for 3 weeks. Every second we waste, they could be doing something to her. I can't just sit here while Kirishima steps forward, his voice gentle but firm, we get it, man. We're all worried about her. But you're not the only one who cares about midoriya. We're her friends too, and we're not letting you go through this alone. Bakugo glared at Kirishima, his voice shaking with frustration, you think I need help? You think I can't handle this? Uraraka speaks up, her voice is soft but determined, Bakugo, you're not the only one hurting. We all miss her. We're all scared for her. But running off alone isn't going to help her. We're stronger together. Yaoyorozu nodded, and her voice was calm but insistent, we've been preparing. I've made several tracking devices, and we've gathered information from the pro-heroes' investigations. We've got a better chance if we work as a team. Bakugo looked at each of them, his anger barely contained, team, huh? You really think a bunch of extras is gonna help me find her faster? Todoroki staring Bakugo down, his voice serious, you're not the only one who cares about midoriya, Bakugo. She's important to all of us. Don't make this about you. We're going to find her, whether you like it or not. Bakugo became silent for a moment, fists clenched so tightly his knuckles turned white, before finally exhaling sharply, TCH, fine. But if you slow me down, I'll leave you behind. Ida nodding, relieved but still stern, we won't slow you down. We'll find her together. Kirishima grinning, trying to lighten the mood, that's the spirit, man. We've got your back, just like always. Bakugo was grumbling, trying to hide his worry, whatever. Let's get moving. We don't have time to waste. Yaoyorozu activates her tracking devices, they track Izuku's phone and luckily the location of her phone is still active, they scanning the area for any signs of the League's presence. They went to the streets they haven't visited yet, they went to an abandoned warehouse district, houses and isolated houses. There's still no signs the moon hangs low in the sky, casting a faint light on the empty streets. Bakugo, Todoroki, Uraraka, Ida, Ijiro and Yamamoto move stealthily through the dark alleyways, their faces set with determination. Yaoyorozu's tracker beeps steadily, the signal getting stronger as they approach an old, run-down house. Yaoyorozu whispering, her eyes glued to the tracker, the signal's getting stronger. This might be the place, Bakugo gritting his teeth, his voice tense, it better be. We've been running around for weeks. This ends tonight. As they pass by the alley near the house, the tracker starts beeping rapidly. Ida adjusting his glasses, his voice firm, everyone, stay alert. This could be the hideout. Uraraka nodding, her voice is soft but serious, we can't rush in. We need to be sure before we act. Suddenly, they hear the creak of a door opening. Instinctively, they press themselves against the wall, hiding in the shadows. Bakugo motions for silence as they carefully peek around the corner. A figure steps out into the dim light, a girl with long, blonde hair tied in two messy buns. It's Toga. Toga was stretching her arms above her head, her voice playful, ah, it's so stuffy inside. I needed some fresh air. Todoroki whispering, his tone is cautious, it's her. Kirishima whispering back, that's Toga, it means we're in the right place. They're here. Bakugo's eyes are narrowing, fury burning behind them, Deku's in there, I know it. They watch as Toga leans against the doorframe, looking up at the sky with a faint smile on her face while eating candy. Toga is talking to herself, her tone almost dreamy, I wonder what Shigaraki's gonna do with her. Izuku's so quiet now, it's not as fun when she doesn't scream. Uraraka's hands clenching into fists, a mix of fear and anger flashing in her eyes, they've got her. Ida whispering firmly, stay calm. We can't act recklessly. Bakugo's his voice barely contained, fists shaking, I'm not waiting around while they're doing this to her. Yaoyorozu quickly and quietly pulling out her phone, her voice calm but urgent, I'm alerting the pro heroes and UA teachers. They need to know we found them. Toga is still talking to herself, unaware of the group hiding nearby, maybe I'll visit her later. I bet she's lonely there, poor Izuku, no one's coming for her. Bakugo's voice low, filled with rage, she's wrong. Todoroki placing a hand on Bakugo's arm, his tone is quiet but firm, not yet. We wait for the pro heroes. Kirishima nodding, his voice steady, we're close, Bakugo. Just hold on a little longer. Toga lets out a sigh before turning to head back inside the house. The door creaks shut behind her, leaving the group alone in the silence of the night. Yaoyorozu quietly, holding her phone, the heroes are on their way. It won't be long now. Bakugo's voice is tight, barely able to contain his emotions, she's in there. They're hurting her. I can't just stand here and do nothing. Todoroki looking straight at Bakugo, his voice firm, we will save her. But we have to be smart about this. We can't afford to lose control. Uraraka's voice is soft but determined, we've come this far. We won't let her down. The group stands tense, their hearts racing as they wait for the pro heroes to arrive. The knowledge that Izuku is just beyond that door, so close yet still out of reach, weighs heavily on them. Each passing second feels like an eternity. Bakugo thinking to himself, his fists clenched, hold on, Deku. I'm coming. I swear, I'm gonna get you out of there. Here's the scene where the pro heroes and Class 1A students finally find Izuku in the League of Villains hideout after she was held captive for weeks. The hideout of the League of Villains, an abandoned building on the outskirts of the city. The pro heroes, led by Endeavor and Aizawa, break into the hideout with Class 1A students close behind. They move quickly through the empty hallways, searching for Izuku, as the villains have already fled. The tension in the air is thick. Check every corner. The villains are gone, but they might have left traps. Move carefully. Endeavor said to others, Aizawa's eyes narrowing as he looks around, we need to find midoriya. Focus. Bakugo and the others fan out with the heroes, each of them anxious and tense. Bakugo's rushing ahead, his voice filled with urgency, where the hell is she? I know she's here. Todoroki was staying close to Bakugo, trying to remain calm, we'll find her, she has to be close. They slammed and opened all doors they saw, until they reached a heavy metal door at the end of the hallway. The air is colder here, more oppressive. Bakugo's heart races as he feels an overwhelming sense of dread. Without waiting for the others, he shoves the door open. Bakugo's voice. Hoarse, Deku. Inside the cold basement laboratory. The room is dimly lit, and the chill in the air is suffocating. A series of medical instruments and monitors line the walls. In the middle they saw 3 Nomu inside the big aquariums. In the side of the room, their eyes widened on a cold metal table, lies Izuku. She's barely recognizable, pale, thin, and completely still. Her eyes are open, but they're hollow, devoid of life or emotion. She looks like a ghost of her former self. Bakugo's breath catching in his throat, his voice breaking. Deku, he rushes to her side, his knees hitting the floor beside the table as he reaches out to touch her, but hesitates. She's so fragile, so broken. Bakugo, his voice trembling, filled with rage and pain. Deku, it's me. I'm here. I found you. Izuku doesn't react. She doesn't even seem to register his presence. Her eyes stare blankly at the ceiling, her body unnaturally still. The rest of the group enters the room, their expressions turning to horror as they see the state Izuku is in. Uraraka's voice shaking, tears welling in her eyes. No. Todoroki's fists clenched, his voice tight. What did they do to her? Ida stepping forward, his face pale. She's completely unresponsive. Yaoyorozu's hand covering her mouth, tears brimming in her eyes. They must have experimented on her, she's so weak. Kirishima eyes widened in disbelief. This isn't right. She looks so different. Bakugo gently placing his hand on Izuku's cheek, his voice breaking. Deku, come on, you have to snap out of this. You're stronger than this. You're a fighter, DMN it. Don't let them win. Izuku still doesn't respond. Her breathing is shallow, her skin cold to the touch. All Might and Aizawa entering the room, their faces were grim as they looked at Izuku. We need to get her medical attention immediately. Endeavor was standing at the entrance, his voice commanding, secure the building. Make sure there's nothing left behind. We'll take her to safety. Bakugo stays by Izuku's side, his hand trembling as he holds hers. He can feel the guilt, the rage, and the overwhelming fear that she might not recover from this. Bakugo's voice barely a whisper, his eyes filled with pain. I promised I'd find you, Deku. I'm here now. I'm not leaving you again. So you better fight. You better wake up. Uraraka wiping her tears, her voice soft but filled with determination. We're with you, Midoriya. We're not letting you go. Todoroki was standing beside Bakugo, his voice steady. We'll protect you now. You're safe. As the pro-heroes and Class 1A begin to secure the area, the group stays close to Izuku, their hearts heavy with fear for their friend. The sight of her, so fragile and broken, is almost too much to bear. Bakugo grips her hand tightly, refusing to let go, as the reality of what she's been through weighs heavily on him. Bakugo laced with tears, you're gonna be okay, Deku. I swear it. I'm not letting them take you away from me. A quiet hospital room, sterile and cold. Izuku lies on the bed, her frail body wrapped in blankets. Her face is pale, her eyes dull, staring blankly at the ceiling. The faint beeping of monitors is the only sound in the room. It has been a few days since her rescue, but she still hasn't spoken a word. Bakugo sits by her side, his usual fiery energy replaced with a deep, pained silence. Uraraka, Todoroki and the other Class 1A stand nearby, all watching their friend Izuku with heavy hearts. Bakugo's voice low, almost pleading, Deku, it's me. It's Katsuki. You're safe now. No one's gonna hurt you anymore. Izuku remains unresponsive, her gaze fixed on nothing in particular. She looks fragile, a shadow of the girl she once was. Uraraka was filled with sadness. Midoriya, we're all here. We've missed you so much. She steps closer to the bed, her hand trembling as she reaches out, but she pulls back, unsure. Yaoyorozu's eyes filled with tears, she's holding back. you're not alone, Midoriya. Whatever happened will help you. You can lean on us. Still, Izuku doesn't react. Her breathing is shallow, her body stiff as if she's afraid to move. Denki gazed and focused on her, she's not the same. His voice softens, filled with concern. She's traumatized. The villains, they did something to her. Bakugo clenching his fists, his voice trembling with anger and guilt. Dmn it, Deku. You're stronger than this. You're not supposed to let them break you. His voice cracks, frustration and pain lacing his words as he looks away, his heart breaking at the sight of her. Ijiro looking at Bakugo, her voice soothing but firm. Bakugo yelling won't help. She's been through something we can't understand. Bakugo gritting his teeth, tears forming in his eyes as he struggles to hold back his emotions. I promised her, I promised I'd protect her, and I didn't. I wasn't there when she needed me the most. Ashido placing a hand on Bakugo's shoulder, his voice steady. We all want to help her, Bakugo. But right now, we need to be patient. She's been through an unimaginable ordeal. Yaoyorozu's voice was gentle, filled with compassion. She's still there, Bakugo. We just have to give her time. The door opens, and Inko Midoriya, Izuku's mother, enters the room. Her face is pale and filled with worry, but she tries to stay strong for her daughter. She walks over to the bed, her hands shaking slightly as she reaches out to touch Izuku's hand. Inko's voice is soft, filled with a mother's love and pain. Izuku, my baby, you're home now. Her voice trembles as she speaks, her heart breaking as she sees her daughter so lifeless. It's okay, you're safe now. No one's going to hurt you ever again, sweetie. Izuku still doesn't move, her body stiff and unresponsive. The room falls into a heavy silence. Bakugo standing up abruptly, his voice thick with frustration and pain. Dmn it, Deku. Say something. Anything. Let us know you're still there. Inko placing a hand on Bakugo's arm, her voice gentle but firm. Katsuki, please. She's not ready. Bakugo clenched his fists, his eyes filled with unshed tears. I can't just sit here and watch her like this, Auntie. This isn't her. This isn't Deku. Inko's voice soft but full of determination. She'll come back to us, Katsuki. She just needs time. Bakugo looks down at Izuku, his chest tight with guilt and pain. He kneels by the bed, gently taking her hand in his voice barely a whisper now. Bakugo's voice raw with emotion. Deku, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I wasn't there. But I'm here now, and I'm not leaving your side. I'll wait as long as it takes for you to come back to us. I'll wait for you, Deku. The others watch in silence, their hearts heavy as they stand by Izuku, hoping that somehow their presence will reach her. Uraraka's voice breaking, tears slipping down her cheeks. Midoriya, we love you. Please come back to us. Ito was filled with sadness. You're not alone, Midoriya. We're all here for you. Denki nodding, his voice firm with conviction. You're our friend, Midoriya. No matter how long it takes, we'll stand by your side. As the group stands in the quiet hospital room, the weight of the moment presses down on them. Izuku remains silent, lost in the trauma of her captivity. But they all refuse to give up on her. Bakugo's voice is a soft whisper, holding her hand tighter. We're gonna be okay, Deku. I swear. I'm not letting you go. At the hospital room, weeks after Izuku's rescue. The sterile smell of the hospital fills the air as Class 1A takes turns visiting Izuku. She sits in her hospital bed, her face pale, her eyes distant. Since being rescued, she hasn't spoken a word. Her friends try their best to stay positive, but every visit is heavy with worry. Bakugo walks into the room, followed by Todoroki, Uraraka, Kirishima, and Ida. He stops in his tracks when he sees Izuku in the same state, sitting up, staring blankly ahead, her eyes glossy with an unshed tears. Deku, Bakugo softly called her. The others watch silently as Bakugo walks up to her bed, his expression a mix of frustration and heartache. He pulls up a chair next to her and sits down, staring at her pale face. Bakugo trying to sound calm but his voice betrays him, "You've got all of us here, you know. We've been coming every day. Everyone's worried, even me, you idiot." Uraraka gently held Izuku's hand. "Izuku, please talk to us, we just want to help." Izuku's eyes well up with tears, but she still says nothing. Her hands rest limply on the blanket, trembling slightly. The silence in the room feels overwhelming. Todoroki stepping forward, "You don't have to talk if you're not ready, but we're not going anywhere. We're here for you." Bakugo leans forward, his voice filled with frustration but also desperation. "Look, I know they did something to you. But you're stronger than this, Deku. You don't get to just," his voice cracks, "you don't get to just leave us like this." Izuku's bottom lip trembles as tears silently roll down her cheeks. She blinks, but her expression remains frozen in shock, as if she's trapped in her own mind. Bakugo's frustration boils over, but he bites back the urge to shout, knowing it won't help. Kirishima gently puts a hand on Bakugo's shoulder. "Bro, she's been through a lot. Maybe she just needs more time, we can't push her too hard. She needs to feel safe, like we're here for her no matter what." Ida added. Bakugo clenches his fists, his anger now directed at himself as much as the villains. He hates feeling powerless, but seeing Izuku like this, it's tearing him apart. "Deku, you're the one who's always talking about saving people. Let us save you this time, please." Bakugo said, softening but pleading. Izuku's eyes flicker for just a moment, as if she heard him, but still, she remains silent. Her tears continue to fall, but she doesn't move or speak. Bakugo sits there, staring at her, unsure of what else to do. "It's okay, Izuku. We'll wait as long as it takes." Uraraka whispered softly. The group stands in silence, their hearts heavy as they watch their friend struggle with whatever is going on inside her mind. Bakugo stays by her side, refusing to leave, his hand resting near hers but not quite touching it. Bakugo's voice filled with pain, "I'm not giving up on you, Deku. I'll come here every DMN day if I have to." Izuku's breath hitches, and for the first time, she reaches out slowly, her hand shaking as it brushes against Bakugo's. Her tears fall freely now, though she still can't speak. Bakugo grips her hand gently, his resolve stronger than ever. "I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere, I won't leave you like this," Bakugo said softly while holding her hand. The room falls into a heavy silence as Izuku's trembling hand brushes against Bakugo's. Her tears begin to flow more freely now, her face scrunched in pain and fear. For the first time since her rescue, there's emotion in her expression: anguish, fear, and vulnerability. Her lips quiver as she struggles to speak, her voice small and fragile. Izuku's voice barely audibly, broken, I was so scared." Bakugo's breath catches. He's been waiting to hear her voice for weeks, and now that she's finally speaking, his heart clenches painfully. He moves without thinking, pulling her gently into his arms. Her frail body shakes against him as she cries, letting out all the fear and trauma she's been holding inside. Bakugo whispering, his voice hoarse, "It's okay, Deku. I'm here. You're safe now. I've got you." Izuku clutches the front of his shirt, her sobs muffled against his chest. Her whole body trembles as the weight of her fear crashes down. Bakugo holds her tighter, his face buried in her hair as he tries to steady his own emotions. They wouldn't stop, I couldn't do anything, I was so weak I couldn't do anything," Izuku sobs. Bakugo grits his teeth, his heart aching as he listens to her broken words. He can feel the depth of her fear, and it only makes his anger at the League of Villains burn hotter. But right now, all that matters is holding her, letting her know she's safe. "You're not weak, Deku. You're the strongest person I know, you survived. You're here. That's what matters." Bakugo softly says, filled with pain. Izuku's sobs continue, and the others watch in silence, their hearts heavy with sadness and empathy. Uraraka wipes her eyes, trying to hold back her own tears, while Kirishima grips his arm, looking pained by how broken Izuku seems. Todoroki's usual calm expression is replaced with a deep, quiet sorrow. Ida places a hand on Uraraka's shoulder, his jaw tight as he watches their friend break down in Bakugo's arms. No one says a word, not wanting to disturb the moment. They all feel the weight of Izuku's trauma, the silent suffering she's been through, and it breaks their hearts. Izuku's voice is still shaking, clinging to Bakugo. I thought no one would find me, I thought I'd never see you again." Bakugo's eyes soften, and his grip on her tightens protectively. He can't stop the tears that threaten to fall from his own eyes, though he fights to stay composed. Bakugo quietly, fiercely said, "You're never gonna lose me, Deku. Never. I'll always find you. I swear." Izuku continues to cry into Bakugo's chest, the trauma pouring out with each sob. Bakugo holds her without hesitation, his own heart breaking with each tear she sheds. The others remain silent, watching the scene unfold with a mixture of sorrow and quiet determination. They can't take away what Izuku's been through, but they'll be there for her every step of the way. After a long moment, Izuku's sobs start to quiet, though her grip on Bakugo remains tight. Her body still trembles, but she's no longer completely lost in her fear. She's here, with them, and that's a start. Bakugo, his voice soft but full of emotion, "You're gonna be okay, Deku. We'll help you through this. You're not alone anymore." Izuku lifts her head slightly, her tear-streaked face filled with exhaustion but also with a small glimmer of hope. She looks around at her friends, who stand by her side, their expressions filled with support and care. Izuku sniffling, her voice shaky but determined, "Thank you all of you, I'm sorry I made you worry." Todoroki smiled softly, "You don't have to apologize, Midoriya. We're just glad you're here." Kirishima's voice is thick with emotion, "Yeah, don't worry about us. You're the one who's been through hell. We'll be with you, no matter how long it takes for you to heal." Uraraka smiles through her tears, her voice gentle, "We'll always be here, Izuku. You're our friend, our family." Izuku's tears start to flow again, but this time there's something different. She buries her face in Bakugo's chest again, her grip still tight, but she knows now that she's not alone. Slowly but surely, she's beginning to feel safe again. Bakugo whispering one last time, "You're gonna be okay, Deku. We've got you." 3 days later, the soft beeping of machines fills the quiet hospital room where Izuku rests. Her condition is improving, though her body still bears the physical and emotional scars of her ordeal. Sitting beside her is her mother, Inko, holding her hand gently, tears shining in her eyes. On the other side of the bed stands All Might, looking down at his young successor with deep concern. Inko's voice softly, brushing Izuku's hair away from her face, "I'm so glad you're safe now, Izuku. I've been so worried, you've been through so much." Izuku's eyes are half open, still weak but gradually becoming more alert. She looks at her mother with a tired but grateful expression, squeezing her hand gently. Izuku said weakly, "I'm sorry, Mom, I didn't mean to make you worry." Inko's tears welling up again, "Oh, sweetheart, you don't need to apologize. You're so brave, I'm just thankful you're back with us." All Might, standing nearby, watches the interaction, his heart heavy. He feels a deep sense of responsibility for what happened to Izuku, as her mentor and protector. His voice is soft but filled with regret. "Midoriya, I'm sorry I couldn't protect you. As your teacher, I should have," his voice catches, "I should have been there for you." All Might says. Izuku turns her head slightly to face All Might, her expression filled with empathy despite her own pain. "It's not your fault, All Might, no one could have known, but I'm still here because of you, because of everyone." Izuku says softly. All Might's eyes soften, though the guilt lingers. He steps closer, placing a reassuring hand on Izuku's shoulder. "You're incredibly strong, young Midoriya. What you've been through, it's unimaginable, but you've come back. That's what matters. You've always been a symbol of hope, and you continue to inspire us all." All Might says. Izuku gives him a small, tired smile, her eyes filled with gratitude. She knows how much her mentor cares, and even in her weakened state, his presence gives her strength. Thank you, All Might. I'll keep fighting. I won't let this stop me. At the city streets, the Class 1A and 1B on patrol with the pro heroes. Meanwhile, in the bustling streets of the city, Class 1A and 1B are on patrol training with the pro heroes. The students, still shaken by what happened to Izuku, are focused and determined to prevent anything like that from happening again. Bakugo, Todoroki, Ida, and Uraraka walk together, eyes scanning their surroundings as they follow their assigned pro hero. Keep your senses sharp. The city may look calm, but there's always something beneath the surface. Stay alert. Pro Hero Endeavor says, TCH, I'm always alert. If those villains show their faces again, they'll regret it. Bakugo's gruff and focused, Todoroki was calm but serious. We can't underestimate them, especially after what they did to Midoriya. Uraraka was determined. Yeah, we can't let our guard down. Not after everything. Izuku wouldn't want us to take any risks. Ida, nodding firmly, agreed. We must honor Midoriya's strength by giving our best in every situation. Though they're trying to stay focused on the task at hand, there's an unspoken tension among them. They're all thinking about Izuku, how she's still recovering, how fragile she looked in the hospital. Bakugo's jaw clenches as he walks ahead, fists tight at his sides. Bakugo gritting his teeth, when she's better I'm gonna make sure those villains pay. Every last one of them. Uraraka looks at him, her expression softening slightly. We all feel the same, Bakugo. But right now, the best thing we can do is make sure we protect others like we couldn't protect Izuku. Todoroki glances at Bakugo, noticing the tension in his voice. You're right, but we can't let anger cloud our judgment. Izuku's healing now because we're all supporting her. We need to focus on what's in front of us. Why are we always calling her Izuku? Her name is changed to Izumi, right? Yamamo remind, yeah, we know that, force of habit. Uraraka chuckled. Bakugo lets out a frustrated sigh but doesn't argue. He knows they're right, but it's hard to push down the burning need for revenge. The group continues their patrol in silence, each lost in their thoughts. At the hospital room later that day, back at the hospital, Izuku is sitting up more, her strength slowly returning. Inko is still by her side, and All Might has stepped out to give them some time alone. Izuku glances out the window, watching the afternoon light filter through the blinds. There's a quiet peace in the room, but it's fragile. Izuku softly, almost to herself, I wonder what everyone's doing right now. They're probably all thinking of you, Izuku. Just like we are. Inko said gently. Izuku smiles faintly, her heart aching for her friends, knowing how much they've been worrying about her. She knows she still has a long road to recovery, but she's determined to walk it one step at a time. I'll see them again soon, and when I do, I'll thank them for never giving up on me. Izuku says. Inko squeezes her hand, her eyes filled with love and pride. You're so strong, Izuku. You always have been. Izuku closes her eyes for a moment, feeling a sense of calm wash over her. She knows the fight isn't over, but she's ready to face it. With her friends and family by her side, another day has passed. Izuku has gathered the courage to speak to the police again. She knows it's necessary, not only to help the pro heroes and her classmates but to finally confront the nightmare she's been trapped in. Her hands tremble as she sits upright in the hospital bed, surrounded by her mother Inko, All Might, and Bakugo. Their presence gives her strength, even as the fear threatens to overwhelm her. The police officer who interviewed her earlier returns, this time with a more solemn expression. He approaches her carefully, setting his notebook on his lap. There's a heaviness in the air as they all prepare for what's to come. Officer, Midoriya, thank you for agreeing to speak with us. I know this is difficult, but your testimony will be invaluable in helping us bring these villains to justice. Izuku takes a deep breath, her chest tightening with anxiety, but she nods. She's determined to push through, despite the memories that make her heart race. She's doing this for her friends, for the pro heroes, and for herself. Izuku's voice was shaky but resolute. I understand. I'll do my best. The officer gives her a gentle nod and begins the questioning. His tone is careful, but direct. Officer, can you tell us what happened when you were first taken? Who was involved in capturing you? Izuku's mind immediately flashes back to that night, the overwhelming sense of helplessness as she was ambushed. She clenches her fists in the bedsheets, her breathing quickening. Bakugo, standing close by, notices and steps forward slightly, his eyes filled with concern. Deku, it's okay. Take your time. Bakugo says while crossing his arms watching Izuku and the officer. Izuku swallows hard and closes her eyes for a moment, focusing on Bakugo's voice. His presence, along with her mother and All Might, grounds her, and she forces herself to continue. Izuku's voice trembling, it was Shigaraki and some of the League. They ambushed me when I was alone. I tried to fight, but they were too strong. I was knocked out, and when I woke up I was already in their hideout. Her voice breaks slightly, and her body shakes as the memories flood back. She remembers the coldness of the room, the restraints, and the terrifying experiments. Inko reaches for her hand, squeezing it tightly as tears well in her eyes. Bakugo's hands clench into fists, barely able to contain his anger at the villains who had hurt her. The officer nods and gently, and what happened once you were in their hideout? Can you tell us about the experiments? Izuku's breath catches. She hesitates, tears forming in her eyes as flashes of Dr. Garaki's face, the machines, and the needles fill her mind. Her voice shakes as she speaks, each word filled with pain. They used me. They wanted to see how much my body could take, with my quirk and the powers I inherited. Her voice cracks, tears starting to fall. To Dr. Garaki, he was always there watching, experimenting, pushing me past my limits. Izuku says, her hands shake violently now, and her tears fall faster. She feels as though she's back in that dark, cold lab, surrounded by the terrifying faces of the League. Memories become too much, and she begins to cry harder, her whole body trembling as her fear and trauma overwhelm her again. Izuku sobbing, I couldn't do anything, I felt so weak, so helpless. Inko pulls her daughter into a tight embrace, tears streaming down her own face as she holds her close. Bakugo takes a deep breath, his face twisted with anger and guilt, though his voice is soft and filled with pain. Deku, you're not weak. You survived, it. That's what matters. You fought with everything you had, and you're still here. Bakugo says. Izuku clings to her mother, her sobs muffled in Inko's arms. All Might steps forward, his face filled with sorrow and guilt. He kneels beside the bed, his large hand resting gently on Izuku's shoulder. All Might's voice low and filled with emotion, young Midoriya, you've shown more bravery than anyone could ever ask for. What you've endured, it's unimaginable. But you've proven that your spirit is unbreakable. The officer, visibly moved by Izuku's pain, waits patiently for her to recover, but he knows he needs to ask more. His voice is soft, understanding the weight of his next question. Officer, can you tell us who else was involved, Midoriya? Anyone else remember from the League or their allies? Izuku takes several shaky breaths, her mind racing. Faces flashes through her memory: Shigaraki, Dabi, Toga, and Spinner. But one face stands out more than the others. Dr. Garaki, with his cold eyes and cruel smile, haunts her thoughts. She shudders as she speaks his name. Dr. Garaki, he was the one who led the experiments. He's dangerous. And Shigaraki, Dabi, Toga, and the others, they were all there. They watched, sometimes they helped, but Garaki, he was in control. Izuku talked to officer. Her voice wavers as she names each villain, the memories of their presence still fresh in her mind. The terror they inflicted upon her resurfaces with each name, but she forces herself to keep talking. She's doing this for justice, for herself and for everyone who was hurt by the League. By now, Izuku is crying again, her body shaking with the weight of it all. She feels completely drained, but she's relieved to have told the truth, to have shared what she could, even if it tore her apart in the process. Officer nodding respectfully, thank you, midoriya. You've been incredibly brave today. This information will be crucial in bringing those responsible to justice. We'll stop them, I promise. The officer stands, his expression filled with empathy, and he leaves the room quietly, knowing Izuku needs to rest. Once he's gone, the room falls into silence, except for Izuku's quiet sobs. Bakugo moves closer, his face softening as he wraps his arms around her from behind, pulling her into his chest. Bakugo's voice low, but full of warmth, you did it, Deku. You were brave. I'm proud of you. We're all proud of you. Izuku, still crying, leans into Bakugo's embrace, her body trembling. Inko wipes her tears away, sitting on the other side of the bed, gently stroking Izuku's hair. All Might watches, his heart heavy with guilt, but also with admiration for Izuku's strength. Inko whispering through her tears, you were so brave, Izuku, I'm so proud of you. All Might steps closer, his voice filled with quiet admiration. Young midoriya, what you've done today, it takes immense courage. You've faced your fears head-on, and because of that, you've helped make the world a safer place. All Might says smiling. Izuku continues to cry, but there's a sense of relief in her tears now. She knows it's not over, her recovery will be long, and the trauma will take time to heal, but in this moment, surrounded by the people who love her most, she feels a small glimmer of hope. Izuku sniffling, her voice barely above a whisper, thank you all of you. I'll try to be stronger. I'll keep fighting no matter what. Bakugo holds her tighter, his voice filled with fierce determination. You're already strong, Deku. And you're not doing this alone. We've got your back always. Bakugo says. Izuku leans into his warmth, her heart aching but also beginning to heal, one step at a time. 1 week later, the sun shines brightly over you. High's training grounds as classes 1A and 1B are fully immersed in their training. The students are divided into groups, working hard to improve their quirks under the guidance of pro heroes like Aizawa, Midnight, and Present Mike. The big three Mirio, Tamaki, and Nijire have also joined in to lend a hand with their vast experience. Nearby, Eri watches in awe, her eyes wide with wonder as she observes the students sparring and showing off their abilities. But despite the energy and focus in the air, there's something missing. A weight that everyone feels, especially Class 1A. It's the absence of their friend, Izuku Midoriya, who has been recovering in the hospital after her traumatic ordeal. Ochiko wiping sweat from her forehead, her voice soft, it feels weird not having Deku here with us, I hope she's doing okay. Jiraiya nodding, his eyes focused ahead but with a distant look, yeah. Training isn't the same without her. Kirishima with his usual energetic tone, though softer than usual, I'm sure she's recovering well. Deku's tough. She'll be back before we know it. Yes, but we mustn't forget what she's been through. It will take time for her to fully recover, both physically and mentally. Ida says, the group nods in agreement, but it's clear that they all deeply miss Izuku's presence. The training continues, but there's a subtle air of melancholy as the students give their best without their friend by their side. Suddenly, a commotion begins near the entrance of the training grounds. A figure steps onto the field, accompanied by someone familiar and beloved. Present Mike shouting in excitement from a distance, yo. Look who's here, everyone. The students pause, turning toward the source of the commotion. Their eyes widen as they recognize the green-haired girl standing proudly with All Might beside her. It's Izuku, fully recovered and looking healthier than ever, her familiar smile lighting up her face. Izuku waving shyly but confidently, hi, everyone. I'm back. For a brief moment, there's stunned silence as everyone processes the sight of their friend standing there, looking strong and ready for action. And then, in an instant, the entire training ground erupts in cheers and excitement. Ochiko tears welling in her eyes as she runs toward Izuku, Deku. You're back. We're so happy to see you again. Mineta says crying and about to hug her but being pulled away by Ciro grinning wide, his voice booming with excitement, Midoriya. You look amazing. I knew you'd pull through. Todoroki smiling softly, a rare expression of warmth crossing his usually calm face. It's good to see you, Midoriya. Oh my gosh, I was so worried. I'm happy that you're okay now. Mina cried along with Hagakure and Azui. Denki ran up to her, his arms flailing in his usual dramatic manner. Midoriya. You've returned in excellent condition. We are all incredibly relieved to see you in such good health. Izuku laughs, feeling a wave of warmth and joy as her friends surround her, each one expressing their happiness and relief to see her back to her old self. Izuku was smiling through tears, overwhelmed by the love and support. I missed all of you so much. I couldn't wait to get back and train with everyone again. All Might, standing proudly beside her, crosses his arms with a proud smile on his face. He's beaming, clearly overjoyed to see his student fully recovered and ready to return to her heroic journey. Young Midoriya has made an incredible recovery, both physically and mentally. She's stronger than ever, and she's ready to continue her training with all of you. All Might says. Mirio, who had been watching with a wide grin, steps forward and claps his hands together energetically. That's the spirit. We missed you, Midoriya. But now that you're back, it's time to show us just how much stronger you've become. Mirio said smiling, Nijire floating toward Izuku with her usual bubbly energy. Yay. It's so good to see you. We were all so worried, but you look so much better now. Tamaki quietly approaches Midoriya, but with a soft smile. We're glad you're okay, Midoriya. Eri, who had been standing nearby, finally steps forward, her big eyes filled with happiness and relief. She had missed Izuku dearly and had been worried about her the entire time. Eri's voice is soft, but full of joy. I'm so happy you're okay, Ms. Deku. Izuku kneels down and gives Eri a gentle hug, smiling warmly at the little girl. I'm okay now, Eri. Thanks to everyone's support. Izuku smiled. As Izuku stands back up, she looks around at her friends and teachers, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. She's back where she belongs, surrounded by the people she loves. And although the road to recovery was long, she's ready to move forward, stronger than ever. Bakugo standing a bit off to the side, watching with his usual scowl but with softer eyes than usual. Took you long enough, Deku. Don't think you can slack off just because you were in the hospital. Izuku turns to Bakugo, her smile growing wider. She knows that, despite his tough exterior, he's genuinely relieved to see her back. She walks over to him and gives him a playful punch on the shoulder. I wouldn't dream of it, Kaken. I'm ready to give it my all again. Izuku chuckled. Bakugo smirks, though there's a hint of pride in his eyes as he crosses his arms. Good. You better keep up, Deku. Izuku smiled and gives him a kiss on the cheeks. I'll do my best for it. Bakugo smirks and gives her a passionate kiss, and then gently pulled away. I miss you so much, nerd. Bakugo smirks and blushes. I miss you too. Izuku smiled, blushing, and they embraced each other. After that, the rest of Class 1A and 1B gather around Izuku, cheering and welcoming her back. The atmosphere is filled with joy and excitement as everyone resumes their training, now with a renewed sense of energy and determination. Izuku looks around at her friends, feeling overwhelmed by the love and support she's received. Izuku thought to herself, her heart full of gratitude, I'm back and I'm going to keep fighting, not just for myself, but for everyone who stood by me. The training resumes, but this time, with Izuku back in action, the students of you feel stronger than ever. The future is bright, and together, they'll continue to grow, face challenges, and become the heroes they're destined to be. The sun casts a warm glow over the dorms as Class 1A relaxes together in the common room. The atmosphere is laid back, with students sprawled across couches and bean bags, eating snacks, and watching a movie on the big TV. Laughter and casual conversation fill the room as everyone enjoys their downtime. In the middle of the group, Izuku sits on one of the couches, surrounded by her friends. Despite the light-hearted atmosphere, there's one person who's noticeably on edge, Bakugo. He's sitting next to Izuku, arms crossed, with a serious expression on his face, keeping a close eye on her. Izuku reaches for a bowl of chips, smiling as she chats with Ochako and Kirishima, but Bakugo is hyper-aware of every little movement she makes, refusing to leave her side even for a second. Kirishima laughing, his voice loud and boisterous, "Man, this movie is hilarious. But I still think the action scenes could use more explosions." Ochako giggling, "You would say that." Todoroki observes Bakugo's protective stance. "Bakugo, you've been hovering over Midoriya all evening. Don't you think she could use some space?" Bakugo snapping back quickly, "Shut it, half and half, I'm not leaving her alone for a second. If anyone's got a problem with that, I'll blow them into pieces." The entire room falls silent for a moment as everyone exchanges glances. They've grown used to Bakugo's brash attitude, but it's clear to all of them that he's being extra protective of Izuku after everything she's been through. Izuku giggling softly, trying to ease the tension, "Kaken, it's okay. I'm fine, really. You don't have to stay glued to my side like this." Bakugo scowling but not budging, "TCH. I'm not taking any chances. You're not going anywhere unless I say so." Izuku smiles softly, appreciating his concern even though she knows he's going overboard. She reaches out and gently places her hand on his arm, trying to reassure him. "I know you're worried, but I'm okay now. You don't have to watch over me every second." Izuku says. Bakugo tenses for a moment, then lets out a frustrated sigh, still not fully convinced. He leans back slightly but keeps a close eye on her. "Yeah, well, don't push yourself. I'm not letting you get hurt again, got it?" Bakugo says back. The rest of the class exchanges knowing smiles, quietly appreciating Bakugo's rare display of open affection, even if it's wrapped up in his usual tough guy attitude. Mina teasing gently, "Wow, Bakugo, you're like a bodyguard." Kaminari grinning mischievously, "Yeah, dude, we get it. You're super worried about her. It's kinda cute, honestly." Bakugo glares at Kaminari, his eyes sparking with irritation. "You got something to say, dunce face." Kaminari holding up his hands defensively, "Whoa, chill, man. Just saying you're acting like a cute, jealous boyfriend." Bakugo growls in response, but before he can explode, Izuku places a hand on his shoulder, her touch calming him down instantly. "It's okay, Kaken. They're just teasing." Izuku chuckled, Bakugo mutters under his breath, clearly still annoyed but relenting. He slouches back into the couch, arms crossed, but stays close to Izuku, refusing to leave her side. The group settles back into watching the movie, though every now and then, someone sneaks a glance at Bakugo, amused by how protective he's being. Izuku, meanwhile, can't help but smile, feeling both grateful and amused by her boyfriend's over-the-top concern. As the movie goes on, Izuku gets up from the couch to grab a drink from the kitchen. Immediately, Bakugo jumps up as well, following her as if on autopilot. Izuku laughing softly as she turns to him, "Kaken, I'm just going to the kitchen. You don't have to follow me everywhere." Bakugo grumbling, arms still crossed as he stands next to her, "Yeah. Well, what if you trip or something? You're not getting out of my sight." Izuku shakes her head, trying to suppress a laugh, but there's a warmth in her heart. She knows Bakugo is just trying to keep her safe, and even though he's being a bit extreme, she appreciates how much he cares. Okay. But at least let me go to the bathroom alone, okay?" Izuku chuckled, Bakugo's face turns slightly red at that, and he looks away, embarrassed. "TCH, fine. But don't take too long." Bakugo says. Izuku laughs softly and heads to the kitchen while the rest of the class continues to watch the scene unfold, all quietly entertained by Bakugo's behavior. As Izuku grabs a drink, she looks back at Bakugo, her heart swelling with affection. Izuku thought to herself, "He's so protective, but I wouldn't have it any other way." Bakugo, still watching her like a hawk, meets her gaze, his scowl softening just slightly as he sees the warmth in her eyes. Though he doesn't say it, he's relieved to have her back, and he's not about to let anything happen to her again. The sound effects are so cool. Mineta says, "Yep, I'm glad we chose to watch this movie today." Zero chuckled, "Guys, please be quiet." Ida says, Zero and Mineta closed their mouths and continued watching. Later the room is dimly lit, the quietness contrasting with the liveliness of the common area. Izuku closes the door behind her, seeking the solitude of her bedroom after spending time with her friends. She stands there for a moment, breathing in the silence, but her mind won't stop racing. As she moves toward her bed, she can feel the weight of the trauma creeping back. The memories, always just beneath the surface, start to flood in again, flashes of the lab, the experiments, the pain, and the fear. It all feels too close, too real. Her heart begins to race, and she suddenly feels something strange in her body. Izuku whispered to herself, trembling, "No, not now, please, not now." Her chest tightens, and she stumbles slightly, gripping the edge of her bed for support. Her breathing becomes rapid and shallow, she's hyperventilating. She feels an overwhelming sense of panic, as if her body is betraying her, reacting to the trauma without her control. Her hands shake uncontrollably, and her vision blurs as tears well up in her eyes. The sensation in her body feels wrong, as if something is off deep inside her. She feels a surge of fear, unsure if it's the trauma or something more. Izuku gasping for air, panicked, what's happening? Why does this keep happening? She tries to calm herself, but the harder she tries, the worse it gets. Her breathing becomes more erratic, and her heart pounds painfully in her chest. She's spiraling, unable to stop the panic from consuming her. Not pleasing, Izuku gasps. Suddenly, there's a knock at her door. Bakugo from outside, his voice tense with concern, "Oi, Deku. You in there?" Izuku can't find the strength to respond. She sinks to the floor, clutching her chest, gasping for breath. She's trembling, her body racked with fear and confusion. The door swings open, and Bakugo enters the room, his eyes widening in shock when he sees Izuku on the floor, hyperventilating. Right behind him is Todoroki, his calm demeanor cracking as worry flashes across his face. Bakugo panicking, rushing to her side, "Deku. What the hell, what's going on?" Todoroki kneeling beside her, his voice steady but urgent, "Midoriya, breathe. Try to breathe slowly." Izuku can barely hear them through the pounding in her ears. Her body feels out of control, her chest heaving as she struggles for air. Izuku gasping, tears streaming down her face, I can't breathe." Bakugo's face twists with panic, his usual tough exterior crumbling as he watches her struggle. He reaches out, gripping her shoulders gently but firmly, trying to ground her. Bakugo's voice is softer but desperate, Hey. Deku, look at me. Breathe, okay? You're safe here with me." "I can't Kaken, I'm scared, I can't breathe." Izuku gasping and her eyes tears up. Todoroki stands quickly, moving toward the door. "I'll get help." He rushes out of the room to find a teacher or medical help, leaving Bakugo alone with Izuku. Bakugo watches her, his heart hammering in his chest as he sees her falling apart, and he feels helpless. He crouches down in front of her, trying to keep his voice calm, though his own fear is rising. Bakugo whispering urgently, "You're gonna be okay, Deku. I'm here. Just focus on me, okay? Look at me." Izuku's eyes flicker toward him, though her breathing is still rapid and uneven. She's trembling, her body refusing to calm down despite her efforts. Izuku choking out words between gasps, I don't know what's wrong, I can't stop it." Bakugo grits his teeth, hating that he can't fix this for her. But he won't leave her side, not now. He kneels next to her, pulling her into his arms carefully, holding her tightly but gently, hoping to provide some sense of security. "Don't leave Mikaken," she gasps, Bakugo's voice breaking slightly, "You're gonna be okay, I swear. Just breathe, Deku. I'm not leaving you." Izuku clings to him, tears streaming down her face as she tries to match his breathing, but the panic is still there, suffocating her. She feels the comfort of his presence but can't shake the terror and the strange feeling in her body. Moments later, Todoroki returns with Recovery Girl and Aizawa, their expressions grave as they rush into the room. Recovery Girl immediately kneels beside Izuku, assessing her condition, while Aizawa watches closely, his eyes filled with concern. Recovery Girl softly but firmly, "It's okay, Midoriya. We're going to help you. Try to slow your breathing." Aizawa places a hand on Bakugo's shoulder, nodding at him, signaling that they have things under control. Bakugo reluctantly lets go of Izuku, though he stays right next to her, his eyes never leaving her face. Aizawa calmly but firmly, "Bakugo, you did good. Let her breathe now." "She's remembering it again," Bakugo says, "we know and will do everything for her recovery," Aizawa added. Izuku, though still shaking, starts to follow Recovery Girl's instructions. Slowly, very slowly, her breathing begins to regulate, though her body still feels heavy with fear. The trauma lingers, but surrounded by those who care for her, she starts to feel grounded again. As her breathing steadies, Izuku looks up at Bakugo, her eyes filled with gratitude and lingering fear. He stays close, watching her intently, refusing to leave her side, his own heart still racing from the panic of seeing her like this. Izuku whispering, her voice hoarse, "Kaken, I'm scared," Bakugo's voice soft, filled with uncharacteristic gentleness, "I know. But I'm here, Deku. I'm not going anywhere." The class 1A watching from the door worried for her, "Poor Izuku, I hope she get well soon," Hagakure says, "Yeah, she's been through hard, I can't watch her like this anymore." Yamamo worried, "We should help her forget those traumatic memories," Ochiko says, "But, how?" Denki asked, "Wait, their birthday is coming, Sunway should surprise her," Jiru's idea. "Yeah, that's a great idea, should ask Bakugo what she wants and what she likes," Denki says, "that will be a great gift." Mina chuckled, "When will start the plan?" Jiru asked, "Tomorrow," Kirishima says, "Night at the U.A., casting long shadows across the empty training grounds at the ground beta. Female Izuku stands in the middle of the field, her fists clenched, her breathing heavy. She's been training alone for hours, pushing her body to its limit. Her sweat drips down her face, but none of it eases the frustration burning inside her. She punches the air over and over, her attacks growing more forceful and wild. She's angry at herself, at her weakness, at everything that happened to her. Izuku gritting her teeth, her voice laced with frustration, why couldn't I stop them? Why was I so weak?" She throws another punch, her energy crackling around her as she channels her quirk. But it doesn't feel like enough. No matter how hard she trains, it feels like she's still trapped in that moment, still powerless. The memory of the lab, the experiments, and the helplessness flood back into her mind, and she falters. Her knees buckle slightly, and she drops to the ground, gasping for breath. Tears well up in her eyes, and she tries to blink them away, but they spill over despite her best efforts. Izuku whispering, her voice trembling with emotion, "I should have been stronger, I should have fought harder," she punches the ground in frustration, her tears mixing with the dirt beneath her. The weight of everything she's been holding inside finally becomes too much, and she breaks down, her sobs echoing in the empty training field. She feels so small, so powerless, even after everything she's been through. Suddenly, a familiar voice breaks through the silence. "Young Midoriya." All Might _ called softly with compassion. Izuku flinches slightly at the sound of his voice and quickly wipes her eyes, trying to pull herself together. She doesn't want All Might to see her like this, so vulnerable. But it's too late, he's already seen her pain. All Might approaches her slowly, his eyes filled with concern as he watches her struggle. He's no longer in his muscular form, but his presence is still powerful, offering comfort just by being there. All Might be kneeling down beside her, "You've been out here for a while. Pushing yourself again, aren't you?" Izuku's voice choked with emotion, "I'm not pushing myself enough, I wasn't strong enough to stop them. I let them take me, I let them do those things to me, and I couldn't fight back. I'm so weak, All Might, I'm so weak." "You are not weak, young Midoriya. What happened to you? It wasn't your fault. All Might _ said softly. Izuku shakes her head, her tears falling freely now. She can't accept that. She can't forgive herself for being vulnerable, for being a victim. But I should have done something. I'm supposed to be strong, I'm supposed to be a hero, but I couldn't stop them. I couldn't protect myself, Izuku cried. Young Midoriya, All Might shows sad expression. Being a hero doesn't mean you're invincible. Even the strongest heroes can find themselves in situations where they can't win, where they need help. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. All Might added. Izuku sniffles, still not convinced. She looks up at him, her eyes red and swollen from crying. But what if I'm not strong enough to be a hero anymore? What if I can't protect anyone, not even myself? Izuku says, crying, you are more than strong enough, young Midoriya. You've faced things that would break most people, and yet here you are, still fighting, still standing. That's strength. And that's what makes you a hero. All Might says softly while wiping her tears. I just don't feel strong anymore. Izuku says, you don't have to be strong all the time. It's okay to feel scared, to feel like you can't keep going. But what matters is that you get up, that you keep moving forward, even when it feels impossible. And you're doing that, right now. All Might smiled. Izuku's tears start to slow as she listens to him. His words, though simple, start to sink in. She's not alone in this, and maybe she's not as weak as she thinks. You're one of the strongest people I know, Izuku. Not just because of your power, but because of your heart. You've been through more than most people could handle, and yet you're still here, still fighting for what's right. That takes more strength than any Quirk ever could. All Might added, do you really think I can be a hero again? Izuku asked with teary eyes. I know you can. And I'll be right here to help you every step of the way. All Might said without hesitation. Izuku takes a deep breath, wiping the remaining tears from her face. The pain and fear are still there, but with All Might's words, they feel a little more bearable. She knows the road ahead will be difficult, but she also knows she's not walking it alone. All Might stands up, offering her a hand. She hesitates for only a moment before taking it, allowing him to pull her to her feet. She wipes her face again, trying to regain her composure. Come on, let's take a break. You've been training long enough for tonight, you don't have to do this alone. All Might says, yeah, it's already late. I should go back to the dorm and sleep. Izuku chuckled. All Might pats her head. Don't think about it and blame yourself again. I will. Thanks All Might. Izuku smiled. Good, no, go back to your dorm and sleep, you have school tomorrow. Ah, yeah, he will. Izuku chuckled. Izuku nods, her heart feeling a little lighter. As they walk back toward the dorms together, she knows that while the trauma may never fully disappear, she has the strength to keep moving forward and the support of the people who care about her to help her along the way. The dorm room is dark, save for the faint glow of the moonlight filtering through the curtains. Female Izuku is lying in bed, her body tense beneath the blankets as she sleeps. But her sleep is far from peaceful. Her face is twisted in distress, and soft whimpers escape her lips. In her dream, the horrors of her time with the villains replay in vivid detail. The cold, harsh hands of the villains, the darkness of the room, the cruel laughter, it's all too real. The nightmare pulls her deeper, her heart pounding as the terror consumes her. Izuku in her sleep, whispering, trembling, and no, please stop, don't. Her body twitches slightly, her fists clenched in the sheets. Tears stream down her face as she relives the trauma in her dream. Her breathing becomes rapid, and her whimpers turn into soft cries. Izuku barely audible, still dreaming. Keika can help. Hours pass, and despite her exhaustion, Izuku's nightmare continues to torment her. She's trapped in a loop of fear and helplessness, unable to wake herself. The tears don't stop, and her pillow is soaked from crying through the night. The sounds of her quiet sobs fill the room. As the night drags on, Izuku jolts awake, her eyes wide with panic. Her body is covered in cold sweat, and her breathing is shaky and uneven. She sits up in bed, clutching the blankets tightly as she tries to calm herself. But the fear lingers, wrapping around her like a vice. Izuku whispering to herself, her voice trembling, it's over but why can't I stop seeing them? Her body shakes with silent sobs, and she buries her face in her hands, exhausted and scared. The clock ticks away the early morning hours, but sleep never comes. She can't shake the fear. Can't escape the lingering memories. Outside, the rest of the dorm is quiet, everyone else asleep, unaware of her struggle. Izuku feels completely alone, her heart heavy with the weight of her trauma. Izuku murmuring, tears still falling, why couldn't I be stronger? Why couldn't I stop them? She cries and couldn't sleep. The sun has risen, and Class 1A gathers in the common area for breakfast. The smell of pancakes and fresh fruit fills the air, and everyone is chatting excitedly. However, there's an air of concern as they notice that female Izuku is absent from the table. Uraraka looking around, worried, hey, has anyone seen Izuku? She usually wakes up early. I saw her going to bed late last night, but I thought she'd be up by now. Maybe she's just tired. Kirishima says, huh? Is she alright? Mineta asked, I think someone should go check on her. Ida says. Bakugo, who has been unusually quiet, furrows his brow, sensing something is off. He stands up suddenly, determination in his eyes. Bakugo, I'm checking on her. Todoroki, I'll come with you. Uraraka, me too. We should make sure she's okay. The three of them head to Izuku's room, their footsteps quiet as they approach the door. Bakugo knocks gently, his heart racing with concern. Bakugo calling out, Deku. You in there? There's no response, just the heavy silence of the room. Bakugo exchanges worried glances with Todoroki and Uraraka before pushing the door open, revealing the darkened room. The curtains are drawn tightly, and the only light comes from the small gap at the window. As they step inside, their eyes are drawn to Izuku, who lies curled up on her bed. Her skin is pale, and dark circles mar her eyes, indicating she hasn't slept at all. The sight sends a chill down Bakugo's spine. Uraraka gasping softly, oh no. Todoroki steps forward, his expression serious as he kneels beside her bed, gently shaking her shoulder. Midoriya. Are you okay? Todoroki asked, Izuku's voice shaky, what? Bakugo steps closer, concern etched on his face as he kneels down to her level. Deku, you look like you haven't slept at all. What happened? Bakugo asked. Uraraka places a comforting hand on Izuku's back, trying to soothe her. Izuku's eyes dart between her friends, anxiety creeping back in. Izuku's voice trembling, I had nightmares, I couldn't sleep. Bakugo's heart sinks at her words, his protective instincts kicking in. He reaches out, placing a hand on her shoulder, trying to reassure her. Bakugo gritting his teeth, you should have told us. We could have helped. I didn't want to worry you, Izuku says. Uraraka shaking her head, Izuku, we care about you. You don't have to go through this alone. We're here for you. Please, let us help you. Todoroki sincerely says, I'm so weak I couldn't forget everything, I couldn't help myself, I don't know if I can still be a hero, Izuku says softly, and crying. Bakugo leans in closer, his expression softening. He lowers his voice, letting his walls down just a little. You're not weak, Deku. You're strong. But it's okay to ask for help. Bakugo says. Izuku's eyes well up with tears, the weight of their concern overwhelming her. She nods slowly, realizing how much she needs them, but still feels the fear and shame clawing at her heart. Izuku's voice breaking, I'm so scared, Kaken, those memories keeps hunting me, don't know how to forget it, I kept trying. Without thinking, Bakugo reaches out and pulls her into a gentle embrace, resting his chin on top of her head. Izuku feels a wave of warmth and comfort wash over her, the simple act grounding her in the moment. Bakugo whispering, it's okay to be scared. We'll face it together. Kaken, please help me, Izuku cries on his chest. We'll do everything to help you, just tell us everything and don't keep it only to yourself. Bakugo says. Izuku nodded while sobbing, I wanna forget it, I want to be healed. Yeah, we know, and you have us, Bakugo softly whispered. I love you, Kaken, I love you too, nerd. Bakugo kissed her forehead and embraced her. Uraraka and Todoroki join the embrace, surrounding Izuku with their support. She feels the love and concern radiating from her friends, and for the first time in what feels like ages, she lets herself cry. The tears flow freely, releasing the pent-up fear and pain that have been haunting her. In that moment, surrounded by her friends, together, they can help her heal. The sky is a fading orange, slowly transitioning into night as the sun begins to set. The Class 1A was busy on preparing for dinner. Guys, have you seen Izuku? Ochiko asked worried. I think she's in her bedroom, Yamamo guess. I'll go check her, Ochiko says and went towards to Izuku's bedroom. The door is unlocked. As she walked inside Izuku's bedroom she looked around and Izuku was not there, even on the balcony. She noticed a letter on Izuku's table and read it. Her eyes widened as she saw the note. She quickly ran towards the living room to inform everyone. Guys, this is bad, Ochiko panicking. What's wrong, Uraraka? Ida asked. That caught everyone's attention. They all gather and huddle up around Ida and Uraraka. Izuku left this letter, Ochiko says, and gave the letter to Ida. His eyes widened. Everyone was curious, mostly Bakugo. Yamamo takes the note and read it for everyone to hear. The notes, to my friends and teachers, I never thought this day would come so soon, but I've come to realize that my presence here has only brought danger and worry to all of you. I can't keep watching everyone put their lives on the line for me, especially when all I want is for you to be safe and happy. Every time something happens, I feel like I've become more of a burden, someone you all have to protect. That's not what a hero is supposed to be. A hero should inspire hope, not fear or concern. All of you have been incredible. You've pushed me beyond my limits, taught me the meaning of courage, friendship, and what it truly means to be a hero. But now, I need to take a different path. I need to fight this battle on my own. For your safety, I'm leaving. To my classmates, my friends, you are all amazing heroes in your own right. You've inspired me every day to keep fighting. Even though I'm going, I'll never forget any of you. You've shown me what it means to never give up, to fight with everything you have, and I'll carry that with me always. To my teachers, especially All Might, thank you for everything. I'll always be grateful for the faith you had in me. I'm sorry I couldn't live up to the expectations you set, but I promise, I'll find my way and protect everyone the best I can. Please, don't try to come after me. I need to do this on my own. Thank you, everyone. I'll miss you all. Sincerely, Izuku Midoriya. This note captures the mix of sadness, gratitude, and resolve Deku would feel as he prepares to leave. Nwazuku, Kirishima worried, what the hell? No Deku, Bakugo grits his teeth and panicked, we have to find her now, before she did something to herself. Mina panicked and worried, Midoriya, Todoroki was sincere and wants to help Midoriya. He was worried too. The Class 1A informed the teachers about it. They looked around the school to find her. Warning: this part is about suicidal. Female Izuku stands on the rooftop, her body trembling as the wind whps through her hair. Her heart pounds, and tears stream down her face as she stares down at the ground below. She feels trapped, consumed by her trauma and guilt. In her mind, she's convinced she's a burden to everyone, a weak link in the chain. Izuku whispering to herself, tears falling, I'm so tired of being weak, of making everyone worry. Her hands grip the edge of the railing, her knuckles white from the pressure. She takes a shaky breath, stepping closer to the edge. The overwhelming weight of her emotions presses down on her, making it hard to breathe. Maybe if I wasn't here things would be easier for everyone. Midoriya tears up, goodbye everyone. As she prepares to take another step, a voice cuts through the air, loud and filled with urgency. Bakugo shouting from behind her, Deku. Izuku freezes, her heart skipping a beat. She slowly turns around, her tear-filled eyes widening as she sees Bakugo standing a few feet away from her, his face filled with fear and anger. Behind him, the rest of Class 1A gathers, their expressions a mix of panic and concern. Bakugo breathing, his voice raw with emotion, what the hell do you think you're doing? Izuku's breath catches in her throat, and she looks away, unable to meet his eyes. She doesn't say anything, but the pain in her face is clear. The rest of the class slowly approaches, distant. Ochiko's voice trembling, Izuku, please don't do this, we're here for you. You're not Alana Midoriya, we can still fix everything, Todoroki says, you can still be a hero, don't let them break you and turn you into this, Yamamo cried worried, please don't leave us, you still have us, Kirishima cried, Izuku shakes her head, her voice barely audible as the tears keep falling. I can't do this anymore. I'm just making things worse for everyone. I'm weak, I couldn't protect myself, and now I'm just a burden, Midoriya cried whispered, Bakugo's fists clench at her words, his entire body tense. He storms forward, grabbing her shoulders and shaking her lightly, forcing her to look at him. Bakugo was furious, voice trembling, that's bullshit, Deku. You're not weak. You've never been weak. You survived something no one should have to go through and you're still here. You're strong, damn it. I'm Tiriti, can't live like this anymore, I'm tired, Izuku cried, his voice cracked slightly, the emotion finally breaking through his tough exterior. Izuku stares at him, her vision blurred by tears, but Bakugo's intensity forces her to listen. Bakugo's voice is softer now, his grip on her firm but gentle, you think you're a burden. You think we don't care. We're here because we care about you, idiot. You don't have to go through this alone. Izuku's lower lip trembles, the weight of his words hitting her hard. She looks around at her classmates Uraraka, Todoroki, Ida, Kirishima, and the rest of Class 1, each of them watching her with concern and love in their eyes. They're not judging her. They're not blaming her. Izuku choking on her sobs, but I'm so scared, I don't know how to be strong anymore. It's okay to be scared, Izuku. We're all scared sometimes. But we can get through this together. You don't have to carry this alone. Ochiko says crying, you're not alone, Midoriya, please don't do this, Jiru cried, we believe in you. You've always been there for us. Let us be there for you now. Siro says worried, please give us a chance to help you get through from it, it's not too late, Mineta says, Midoriya, please hold my hand and don't jump, Kirishima says, giving a hand for her, don't let the evil win and break you, Tsuyu says, Izuku breaks down completely, her body shaking with sobs as the overwhelming love and support of her friends washes over her. Deku, take my hand. Bakugo gives his hand too, Izuku gives a soft smile at him, she gently take Bakugo's hand, she pulled Bakugo and kiss him. Bakugo was shocked and the rest of Class 1A are only a few feet behind her, their expressions filled with worry and fear. Bakugo, his breath shaky, reaches out, trying to close the distance. Bakugo desperately, voice raw, Deku, please, don't do this. You don't have to go through this alone. Izuku turns slightly, tears brimming in her eyes, but there's a softness in her expression as she looks at him. She gives a weak, almost resigned smile, one that shatters Bakugo's heart. Izuku smiled softly, her voice trembling, Kaken, I'm sorry. Before anyone can react, Izuku lets go, stepping off the edge. Time seems to slow as she begins to fall, her body disappearing over the side. Bakugo screaming in pure panic, Deku. Without hesitation, Bakugo sprints toward the edge and leaps after her, adrenaline coursing through his veins. The rest of Class 1A follows, their hearts pounding in their chests as they jump, trying desperately to save her. Bakugo's explosions propel him faster through the air, his eyes locked on Izuku's falling figure. His hands reach out, his entire being focused on catching her. He grits his teeth, his voice breaking as he yells. Bakugo screaming, I'm not letting you go, Deku. Hold on. The wind rushes past them as Bakugo gets closer, the ground speeding up beneath them. He can see her face now, her eyes are wide with surprise, perhaps not expecting anyone to follow her so quickly. His hands brush against hers, but he's still just out of reach. Class 1A is close behind, using their quirks to try and slow the fall. Todoroki sends an ice path toward the building, creating a platform beneath them, while Uraraka tries to float in position to help stop their momentum. Bakugo's hand finally grabs onto Izuku's wrist, his grip tight as he pulls her toward him, wrapping his arms around her midair. He doesn't let go, even for a second. Bakugo breathing hard, his voice shaking with emotion, "I told you you're not alone, I'm not losing you, Deku." But even with his explosive speed, they're still falling too fast. Todoroki's ice path starts to crack, and Uraraka is struggling to keep the others in position. Bakugo looks down, his mind racing as the ground approaches. Suddenly, a powerful gust of wind surrounds them, slowing their fall dramatically. A familiar presence appears beneath them, catching both Bakugo and Izuku midair with ease. All Might, in his weakened form but still with the strength of a hero, stands at the base of the building, having leapt into action to save his students. All Might grunting, his voice strained but steady, "Don't worry, young Midoriya, I've got you." All Might gently lowers them to the ground, where the rest of Class 1A lands safely. Bakugo is still holding Izuku tightly, his heart pounding in his chest, his face buried in her shoulder. He's shaking, the sheer terror of what just happened overwhelming him. Bakugo whispering, barely holding back tears, "Don't ever do that again, Deku, please." Izuku, shocked and dazed, looks up at him, her eyes filled with tears. The weight of what she tried to do suddenly hit her like a ton of bricks. She collapses into Bakugo's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Izuku crying, voice broken, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." Bakugo pulls her closer, his voice soft but filled with emotion. Bakugo softly says, "Don't be sorry. You don't have to carry this alone, we're here for you, Deku. I'm here." The rest of Class 1A surrounds them, their faces a mixture of relief and sadness. They know the road ahead won't be easy, but they're all in this together. No one would let Izuku fall literally or figuratively without fighting to save her. The entire Class 1A returns to the dorms, the atmosphere heavy with tension and concern after what had just happened on the rooftop. Bakugo walks closely beside Izuku, his hand resting protectively on her back as they enter. Everyone is quiet, still processing the events. Uraraka and Todoroki exchange worried glances, while Ida tries to keep his composure. Once inside, the class doesn't split off to their rooms like they normally would. Instead, they all gather in the common room, staying close to Izuku. They've made an unspoken agreement they won't leave her side tonight. Uraraka sitting beside Izuku on the couch, "Are you okay, Izuku? Do you need anything? Water? Tea?" Izuku sits with her knees pulled up to her chest, her face pale and eyes still red from crying. She shakes her head slightly, her voice barely a whisper. "No, I'm okay, I'm sorry for worrying everyone," Izuku says, "You don't have to apologize. You're important to us. We just want to make sure you're safe." Todoroki said softly, sitting across. Bakugo, who has been standing behind the couch, steps forward and crouches in front of Izuku. His eyes are intense, filled with frustration but also concerned. Bakugo sternly but softened his tone, "Listen, Deku. You're not gonna be alone after this. We're all watching you, got it? You try something like that again, and I'll drag you back myself if I have to." I didn't want to worry anyone, I thought it would be easier if," Izuku said, tears up. Bakugo firmly, "No. Don't say that. It wouldn't be easier. You've got people who care about you, all of us. Don't you ever think you're alone in this, you hear me?" The rest of the class murmurs in agreement, their expressions filled with support. Kirishima steps forward, offering a reassuring smile. "We're all here for you, Midoriya. You don't have to carry this on your own. We're your friends and friends have each other's backs." Kirishima says. Izuku looks around at her classmates, her eyes filled with emotion. Slowly, she starts to realize that they really mean it, they're not just saying these things to make her feel better. They truly care about her, and they're not going to let her go through this alone. Izuku softly, her voice cracking, "Thank you, I don't deserve friends like you." "Yes, you do, Izuku. You've done so much for all of us. Let us help you this time." Yamamoto says. Bakugo stands up and pulls Izuku to her feet, surprising her. He's not as rough as usual, but there's still that familiar intensity in his eyes. Come on. You're staying with us tonight. No more sneaking off anywhere, got it? Bakugo said strictly. The rest of the class agrees, and Izuku feels a small sense of relief, knowing they're keeping her close not out of obligation, but because they genuinely care. It's best if we all stay together. We'll take turns keeping an eye on Midoriya, just in case. Ida ordered, yes, and we're not letting that happen again. Denki says, we'll sleep here in the living room together. Girls get the blankets. Boys get the pillows and snacks. Mina says, despite the tension, Izuku can't help but feel a bit more grounded. Knowing that her friends aren't just watching her out of pity, but because they care, brings her some comfort. She's still hurting, still battling the weight of her trauma, but for the first time in a long while, she feels like she has a chance to heal. They all settle down for the night in the common room, blankets and pillows spread out as everyone tries to relax. Bakugo sits next to Izuku, refusing to leave her side. He glances at her occasionally, making sure she's still there, safe. Don't even think about doing something stupid again, Deku. Bakugo said. Izuku, wrapped in a blanket, leans against him slightly, her eyes heavy with exhaustion. She knows sleep won't come easily tonight, but somehow, being surrounded by her friends makes her feel a little less alone. I won't, Kaken, I won't. Izuku said. As the night drags on, Izuku finally closes her eyes, feeling the warmth of her friend's presence around her. The road to recovery will be long and difficult, but with them by her side, she knows she doesn't have to face it alone. The sun filters through the windows of the common room, casting a warm light on the group of students sprawled across the room. The Class 1A members slowly wake up, stretching and yawning after spending the night in the common area to be close to Izuku. Bakugo is the first to fully sit up, rubbing his eyes before glancing over at Izuku, still wrapped in her blanket, sleeping peacefully beside him. Bakugo muttering groggily, "Hey, Deku, wake up. It's morning." He reaches out and gently nudges her shoulder. But there's no response. He tries again, a bit firmer this time. "Deku, come on. Time to wake up." Bakugo said. Uraraka, Todoroki, and the others begin to stir as well, noticing Bakugo's attempts to wake Izuku. They gather around, concerned when she doesn't move. Bakugo's expression quickly shifts from irritation to panic. He shakes her more urgently. Bakugo voice rising, panic creeping in, "Izuku, wake up. Stop messing around. Izuku. Are you okay?" Uraraka worried, no response. Bakugo's breathing quickens as he gently pulls back the blanket, revealing Izuku's pale, still face. His heart races. Bakugo shouting now, "Deku." Suddenly, Izuku's body begins to shimmer, her form melting before their eyes. Her skin starts to dissolve into a puddle of goo, turning into a black, inky substance. The entire class gasps in shock, stepping back as the realization hits them. Todoroki's eyes wide, voice low, "This isn't her." Uraraka covers her mouth in horror as Izuku's body fully melts into a black puddle on the floor. Bakugo stumbles back, his eyes wide with disbelief. Bakugo was shaking, the voice trembling with fury and confusion. What the hell?" Ida gasping, This isn't Midoriya. "It's twice Quirk, this was a clone the whole time," Kirishima said. The room falls into stunned silence. The weight of the revelation sinks in. Izuku, who they thought they had been comforting, who they thought they had saved, was nothing more than a clone created by the villain twice. Uraraka teary-eyed, her voice shaking, "If this was a clone, then where's the real Izuku?" The question hangs heavy in the air. The class is frozen in shock, unsure of what to do next. Bakugo's fists tremble at his sides, his face a mixture of rage and helplessness. Bakugo growling through clenched teeth, "Those DMN villains, they tricked us, they took her, they created it to distract us and not to find the real one. We need to find her. Now." Todoroki says. Before anyone can respond, Aizawa steps into the room, his expression dark and serious, having overheard the commotion. He quickly assesses the situation, his face hardening when he sees the melted remains of the clone. Yamamoto turnly, but with a hint of urgency, this was twice doing. We don't have time to waste. The real Midoriya could still be out there, and she might be in danger. I'll inform the pro-heroes about this. Ida says, their shock turning into determination. Bakugo clenches his fists, his heart pounding as he processes what happened. He isn't going to let the villains get away with this. Bakugo's voice filled with fury and resolve, we're going to find her. I don't care what it takes, I'm bringing her back. The rest of Class 1A nods in agreement, their faces set with grim determination. They won't stop until they find the real Izuku, wherever she may be.